So you need to get your licks in on this one. What one question would you like to ask your opponent in this race? Now you can ask the question. I don't know if we're going to get the answer, but what one question would you like to ask your opponent in this race? Susan?
You know, that's an interesting question. I never really thought of that.
It's 5 or 6.
Is there anything, any vote that you took on when you were a county commission chair that you regret?
That's a good question.
I'm sure that's a very good question, and
You need to answer. You need to answer.
so did I not get to answer it?
That's a question. We're just going to keep on going on this. We
Okay.
may come back and answer them on the way back.
I apologize. I did not understand the format.
We're making it up. We got 15 minutes, so don't grill on it.
Are you advocating any tax increases to address what you were talking about as far as the budget issues in North Carolina?
Jane?
Let's see, I've got so many. I'm trying to figure out which one to ask.
One question.
I know, I'm sorry. I got 2 minutes to ask it, so give me a minute. Maybe why Mr. Moffitt has decided to, I'd like to know why he has decided to accept so much outside money, that's money from outside of Buncombe County, to run his campaign.
Tim?
Is Esther still here?
One question.
Well, that's right. Well, I've got 3 minutes before my parking meter runs out, so I was looking for a little help. Okay. My question is simple. My campaign is about my record. I am pleased with my record. I brought it for everyone here to view, and I would like to find out why my opponent is not running on her record.
Now, we've had the question, now we'll get the answer. In what order do you want them answered? Let's start down there, working our way back. Up?
Want me to answer?
Yep.
So the question is, from my opponent, is why am I accepting so much out of Buncombe County money to run my campaign? That's a good question, and I think the question could also be asked of her. The nature of politics at the state level has gotten to where campaigns are so expensive that you cannot run a competitive campaign locally. As of last week, I had a little over 400 local contributions to my campaign. I had a number of PACs that are outside this area that have contributed, and it's just kind of the way that it is. So the things that we have to focus on are making campaigns less expensive. And if we focus on those issues, then I think the competition for the money to be competitive will make it cheaper for everybody.
Jane?
Okay, I'm gonna have to go pretty quick here. He is running on his record and I'm running on mine. You can go online and find my record. I feel like his record is not a good record. He may have gotten a lot of bills passed, but let's look at the bills he got passed. He's trying to take our water away. He's taking our airport away. He's slashed funding to our schools over $1 billion. Think about that for a little while. $1 billion to our schools. This man's record is not good. It may be long, but it's not good. It's not effective because it hasn't helped the people of this county. He represents the people of this county. and he's not helping us.
Nathan?
I'm sure there are many votes I take on as a member of the Board of Commissioners that were ill-conceived. Thank goodness, though, almost all of them, some fellow commissioner voted with me, so I wasn't the only one that made an ill-conceived vote. But you know, I think this is a good example about politics and the disconnect between reality and politics. I ran in 2000 in part because we had a countywide zoning referendum where the majority of people in this county, over 40,000 people, including every municipality, folks voted. They rejected the countywide zoning, and the majority of the board said, we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. I felt like that was bad government. I felt like it was bad policy. Right, shortly after I got on the Board of Commissioners, there was some discussion about the city extending their zoning jurisdiction out in the county, the ETJ. And said, well, the county could put zoning restrictions, and under state law, the city had the right to do that as long, because the county did not have zoning restrictions in that area. And said we would put a multiple use zoning area, so it would be very fairly lenient. And if I owned property in that area, I would have said that was the right thing to do. I got, you know, the heck beat out of me by people that supported me, and they said, Nathan, you promised you would never vote to vote for zoning. Well, my promise to you, that's why I'm not making any promises in this campaign. I'm going to do the best I can. And if that's good enough, I appreciate your vote. If it's not, thank you. My wife hopefully can put up with me a little longer. So, thank you so much.
Susan?
What was the question?
No.
Would I raise taxes? You know, that's kind of an interesting question, because there's so many things, so many ways that people talk about tax reform, and in every single one of them there is some sort of tax that's being created. If you're closing tax loopholes, somebody's being taxed. If you are broadening the tax revenue base by deciding that we are now going to have services taxed, you're taxing somebody. So when we're talking about tax reform, I'm not going to make a promise one way or the other, because I'm interested in looking at what kind of structure we need to create in North Carolina that's a better tax structure than what we have. As for, you know, actively saying, yeah, let's go raise taxes, no, I'm not for that. I don't want to pay more taxes anymore than the rest of you. So.
Thank you. Candidates, before we conclude this, I think it's important for one of you to, from 116 and 115, to say where your voting district is, because with a lot of the changes of districts, it's going to be kind of confusing. So if you could